learn 1,000 leadership techniques and ways to behave charismatically. Yet, if you do not have the right intent, all of those techniques and those behaviors can actually become a weapon in your hand. Look at all of human history, whether it was politics and statecraft, or it was military, or it was business, religious and spiritual space, or educational institution, or just society and our families. There are commonplace men and women who rose to significant positions of power and authority and influence over others. Success through jobs in companies, or success through politics, or success through the military, or the religious or spiritual pecking order, or generally influencers in life, or the heads of family, and sitting on top of a lot of generational wealth. Yet after rising to that level, suddenly they made certain choices and they failed significantly. And a life that was much talked about, much celebrated, in fact quoted, or a marquee life suddenly gets destroyed, and everyone is left wondering why and what happened in this case. Why was such a picture perfect life now falling apart? And why is this disaster unveiling? And the answer is, like I said, learn 1,000 techniques and behaviors, yet if you do not have the right intent behind doing what you're doing, at some point in time, we will fail. Do we always have bad intent? No. Can someone with good intent turn to bad intent? Yes, it can happen. Can someone with bad intent over a period of time learn and change? Yes, that too. So it is variable, but the point that we need to understand is, as leaders in your life, in your organization, and wherever you are, fix your intent. You learning behaviors and techniques only is not going to make you a great leader, a great human being. And like I said, if you go back and look at all of history and look at all of those areas like politics or statecraft or military or educational institution, like I said, I really wanted to pull out a list of a few names, but at the end of it, I was left wondering which names to pick up, because one after another, there were so many spectacular blunders that people like us had done. You look at that politician who was absolutely poised to win the election, yet rigged the election just to ensure that he certainly wins. Or look at that entrepreneur who, despite knowing that he or she had that runway to success for the next 10, 15, 20 years and could be the best of the best industry, just in mere greed and trying to keep control on things, manipulated results, did unscrupulous things. Or look at people in sports who were absolutely the best. They had put in the hard work, they had put in everything, but at certain point in time, they were caught with bad habits. Or look at the business leader who had a mercurial rise in their career in a great organization, great brand, getting to the top of the top position, and they had several years to go to reap that status and that power and that money. Yet they got greedy and did very bad transactions and they got caught. What is really behind all of this? And like I said, the intent falters, but now let's understand how to fix this intent. To fix this intent, we have to first understand that the very human life, and at the core of the human life, is that infant, the child. And the human child which is born is possibly the most imperfect of infants that comes in the entire animal kingdom. I'm not a great expert at this, but my sense would say that the infant requires 7, 8, 10, 15, 20 years at times to really mature and be able to do something. Animal life isn't like that. Animal life, takes a couple of weeks, maybe at the most, or maybe a couple of months, and the infant is up and running. But the human life has such complexities, and a lot of those complexities come from where we come. So even though that little child is born with all the blessings of the evolution that the human being has gone through, or Homo sapiens have gone through, the little child is also born with a lot of those functional fatalities or the functional challenges that it is born with. Like, it has to learn, it has to adapt, it has to understand the ways and means of things. And this is where I remember My teacher and the founder of transactional analysis, Eric Burns, says this so beautifully, that we are all born princes and princesses. It's the civilization that makes us frogs and orgs, with all the garbage that it piles onto us. So the child, from the very time it comes into the society, into the family, with the parents itself, is going through a variety of existential challenges. The various things, it may be taught some things, but may or may not learn those things. And as life goes on, what really happens is character flaws. And those character flaws essentially come from, one, various kind of challenges and traumas that we have as we go through with our life. And some of that really requires healing. So many of us who have an excessive urge towards power, towards control, towards perfectionism, towards status, etc. While these are very basic things of life, we all need recognition, we all want to get ahead, we all want to be affiliated. Those are basic motives of life. But when we start delving in the excesses of these, there is something about our life from where it is coming. Possibly it is coming from traumas, which is wanting us to have more and more of these. And there is a definition in our head that having more power, more trauma, more control is going to help us succeed and be better. Or the other aspect of things is that the knowledge, the values, the morals itself were not learnt in life, where while we have learnt lessons of power, control, success, status, etc., we weren't really taught things like compassion, things like righteousness, ethical behaviors. Those conducts are things, or the virtues are things that we have not picked up. And in many cases, as we grow up in life and as we start becoming successful, what happens is, when you get to the top, that character flaw starts surfacing. Those triggers, those traumas, or the lack of values, they start triggering. And once a hero starts now feeling that hero status is going to break at some point in time. Aren't we all told those stories that it's a cycle? What goes up has to come down, and those things start bothering us. And that's not the only narrative. We have heard so many other narratives, like when you go up the ladder, people will target you, this will happen, that will happen, bad can happen. And in all of those narratives, those character flaws, we make bad choices. So the simplest thing to do here is ensure that as you are working and getting ahead in adult life, you look at your own self and you ensure that you're healed very deeply and healed from any trauma, any compulsion. And the other thing is value clarification. You need to acquire the right values, which means going back and looking at all the messages that you've received in life. Like Eric Berne would say, the garbage of your life. You need to take out the garbage from you. And as you're taking out the garbage from you, which is the first part, which is the stories that you have, you need to understand the limiting beliefs that those garbage have created. And those limiting beliefs are what are holding you back. You need to replace those limiting beliefs with a set of good universal values. And that's an exercise which is very critical for all of us. So anything and everything from really understanding what integrity would mean, or humility will mean, or compassion would mean, or collective success would mean, or harmony or peace mean, we have to go through that exercise. And in modern adult life, many of us have not experienced this. So I will leave this with you to work with a coach, mentor, spiritual guru, or someone who's trained in this, who can work with you and walk with you. And if you need to go to a counselor or a therapist so that you can heal properly, please do that and fix those challenges, overcome your character flaws. And while you're doing that, you can simultaneously in life be aware of one thing, that you have to correct the intent of everything that you do. And what does correcting of the intent mean? It's very simple. Whatever role you are playing in life, whether that's of a father or a mother or a partner or a friend or a societal leader or an organizational leader or a business leader, you have to ask this question, that whatever I am going to do, what's the reason behind that, the why behind that? And is that why justified? If my loved ones will look at the why, will they respect me for doing it? If society at large examines the why, will they respect that? And that's an important question that we need to ask. That's how we validate our intent. Our intent of why we are doing something should be something that serves us, others, and the system that we are a part of. System here means either the family, the society, the organization, or in general the human life. So if you're a business leader, intent means then that you're serving yourself, the employees, the customer. If you are an organization leader, again, it means that you're serving the organization and your colleagues and teams and all stakeholders who have invested in the business, and also the customers. And in general, raising the standard in society. Same way in the family you are doing this. So watch your intent, and that intent should be something that everybody respects. Now, the first benefit of intent is this, that it creates a deep intrinsic motivation for you to do the right things. If you have the right intent, you will get the right energy to do what you need to do in life. And as that right energy comes in, automatically the second benefit that comes your way is that it will prevent you from derailing and making bad choices. Always understand these things go hand in hand. You know what's the right thing to do, you'll highly likely not do the bad things. You know what are the bad things to do, you will tend to gravitate towards the right thing. And these have to be anchored very clearly. The third benefit that naturally comes out of this is that when you know the right things to do and you know what are the bad choices, you are able to spread that knowledge and rally others behind you, rally others behind a cause. People need a reason to look up to leaders and look up to others. So whether it's in your family or society or organization or business or government or wherever you are, if you have a powerful reason, you will be able to rally others around you. And in your role of leadership, especially in organizations and in any other scenario, in your role, many times when you are standing up for a cause, you may also need to negotiate and do trade-offs with others, because everyone's got priorities. They have got their things, their list of important things. And if they have to get along with you, if you have to get along with them, if both of you jointly have to get ahead, many times it's important to negotiate and settle these trade-offs because of which you guys can coexist. And these trade-offs should not be such that there is any dilution of your cause or their cause. When you know the reasons and your intent is clear, you will be able to make the right trade-offs in life. From there, the fifth benefit that comes to you is, as you make those trade-offs, you will also know what are the non-negotiables for collective success. Like I said, for your success, for the success of others, and the success of the system, you will know what are the non-negotiables and you will stick to those non-negotiables while achieving the sixth and a very important result, which is whenever you look at your own life in hindsight, you will always look at your life with pride. Because if you have the right intent to do, when you turn back, you will not have guilt or remorse or self-pity, which is a very important thing in life. So, in a nutshell, work on your intent, but also the deeper aspect of what I said, that we all make bad choices in life because of the inherent vulnerabilities that we are born with and how they develop into character flaws that we have. So go back, heal anything inside you that needs to heal, and correct your values and knowledge about what are the right things to do, and you will make great choices and have the right intent in life. A leader with the right intent is the one who's successful in a sustained way. And even if the leader has had failures, others will look up to them for the values, the morals, the methods that they brought to the table, which were always ethical and serving everyone in the system. Wish you a great journey as a leader of whatever context you're present in.